Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Premier League Player of the Season pack on eFootball. I've already reviewed today's new Player of the Week selection. That review is live on the channel now. In this pack we have 20 players. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click on the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. We've got 20 players in here, there's one from each club. It's a coin pack, so 100 coins a spin. And we will start with O'Shea from Burnley. So this is a decent card. It's not the first version we've had of him, actually. We had one in the previous Premier League pack. This one has more skills. We'll look at the skills in a moment, and then in general, it's just a bit better than that one. So this is the best version of O'Shea that we've had. Compared to his GP card, as we're getting with a lot of these Player of the Month and Player of the Week players, there are some weird changes they make. His defensive engagement and aggression are down from his GP card, but the rest of his attributes have been boosted nicely, to be fair. So a couple of weird ones. I'm tired of having the same rant, but some of the most important attributes on a guy who's apparently one of the players of the season, apparently they go down from what they normally are. But yeah, on the whole though, like I say, it's a pretty nice boost on the whole. And if we look at his skills, they've added a bunch of skills here. So heading and aerial superiority, and then we're interception, man marking, blocker. I think the only two that he could do with his centre back are acrobatic clearance and sliding tackle. He can do without those, they're not crucial. It would be nice if he had them, but certainly he's got probably the most important ones for a centre back. Weighted pass as well. So yeah, on the whole, it's a nice version of him. It's the best version of him that we've had in the game. They've given him a bunch of nice skills. Ultimately, is it a good card? It's decent. He's a destroyer. He's all right, to be honest. He barely makes the grades of 5-star though. So he's 92 rated. 90. If he was any lower, if he was 90, he'd only be a 4-star. So that tells you a lot. He's not an amazing card by any means, but he does have some strengths. There are no major weaknesses. I would say the engagement's a bit on the low side. I do like engagement to be at least kind of mid-high 80s. But the skill set's pretty good. Most of these attributes are pretty solid. So he's a solid one, certainly for Burnley fans, maybe for Irish fans, he might be a good one to pick up. Certainly very usable, but not an elite level card by any means. Next up is our first feature version of Ross Barkley on eFootball. So, start by comparing to his GP card. Kicking power slightly down. Lofted passes slightly down as well. But apart from that, he's had a pretty nice boost across the board. His awareness has had a nice boost. His finishing has had a nice boost. His physicals, his balance as well. So, yeah, on the whole, it's a nicely boosted version of Barkley. Same positions and playing style. He's a centre mid box to box. In terms of his skills, they have added, I think, first time shot and what's he lost? Rabona. So yeah, he's got a pretty good selection of skills. It's pretty clear though. He's one of these centre midfielders who's very much attack minded. You know, the attributes here on the ball is pretty tidy. That ball control is going past 90 with the game plan boost. Likewise, low pass. So he's technically very tidy. Good finishing for a midfielder. Attacking awareness 77, it's pretty decent. Pretty average pace on the whole. Speed of 80 is fairly nice for midfielder. Not the best acceleration though, not the best balance. Physical contact is decent though for midfielder. Stamina 79 is not the best. It depends how you use him. As a centre mid, I don't think I'd even consider defensive mid. No real defensive ability, no defensive skills, so he's not going near DMF for me. As a centre midfielder, similar situation. You know, you need at least one or two midfielders behind him doing all the defensive work. He can't defend, so yeah, I think he's one of these ones where, depending on the kind of midfield setup you've got, as an offensive-minded centre mid, he could do a job. He will get tired with that stamina being a bit low as a box-to-box player. But you could play him as an attacking midfielder. He won't have a playing style active there because box-to-box isn't active as an AMF. But as an AMF, even without a playing style, he's got some qualities on the ball, very tidy. He's got the passing. And when you look at the skills, as I was about to go into detail on these, there might be no defensive ones, but going forward, you've certainly got some shooting skills there. Knuckle shot, dipping shot, long range curler, long range shooting, acrobatic finishing, first time shot. You've got a whole bunch of skills for his shooting. Through passing and weighted pass. Outside curl's a nice one as well. So he's got some passing skills there with through and weighted pass. Doesn't have one touch pass, a bit of a shame, but through passing and weighted pass are good ones to have. Marseille turns, he's got one skill move for the skillers. He's not going to be much of a dribbler, let's be honest. But yeah, he's got some end product. He's got good technicals there. I think to get the most out of this guy, he's probably best as an attacking midfielder without an active playing style. Again, he's not an elite level card by any means. He is only 92 rated, but if you played him as an attacking midfielder, in effect, I think he would be at least a 93 or 94 rated player there because of the abilities he's got. So yeah, could be a very offensive minded centre mid, but as an attacking mid I think he'd be better. And again, not an elite level card by any means, but I think in attacking midfield especially could be a pretty tidy card, to be honest. Now we have James Tarkowski from Everton. So we've had a couple of versions of him before. There was a Player of the Week card, and there was one from one of those weird derby packs they did. You know, the kind of half and half ones. It was a Liverpool and Everton one. Had a bunch of Everton players and a bunch of Liverpool players in it. He was in that one as well, but I think this card is a bit better than both those two cards. Compared to his GP card, they've taken a bit off his aggression and his engagement. Again, some weird changes, but his tackling's up a little bit. His awareness is the same as his GP card goes to, at least on auto allocation. So they've shuffled these around a little bit. Not sure really why, but yeah. Stamina's up a little bit. Passing's up a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, it's just a slight boost across the board, really. So it's the best version of Tarkowski that we've had. He's a destroyer again. There's a few destroyers in this pack. On the whole, these defensive attributes are strong. He's got good defensive attributes there. He's not the quickest, but I keep that in mind. If you don't like slow centre-backs, that might concern you. Physical contact is great. Jumping 85, he's about 6'1". He's not actually that tall. He's not as tall as he looks. He kind of, when you watch him, I always feel like he's about 6'2", 6'3", but he's only 6'1", jumping 85. But he does have aerial superiority, so he should be pretty solid in the air. Got heading as well. And then man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, right clearance, captaincy. And they've added fighting spirit. So that's the only addition to his skills. But he's got a pretty complete set of skills there for a centre-back. I don't think he's missing anything. Yeah, and on the whole, he's a very solid-looking centre-back, to be honest. The balance is horrible. You have to be careful on the ball. That's the case with most centre-backs, to be honest. But yeah, I think the only thing anyone would be really concerned about with this guy is the lack of pace. A lot of people aren't too bothered about the lack of pace in the centre-back. If that's okay for you, then it could be a really good solid centre-back. I prefer a bit more pace in my centre-back, so that would concern me a bit. But outside of that, it's a good solid centre-back card, and it's the best version of Tarkowski that we've had so far. This is the best version of Anthony Robinson that we've had in the game because it's the only featured one we've had. It's the first time we've had a special version of him. It's a pretty decent version of him. Again, compared to his GP card, they've taken a bit off his speed. I mean, he can afford to lose a bit off it, to be fair, but still, they've taken a bit away from that for some reason. His kicking power's down as well. But he's had a pretty nice boost to his technicals. And across the board, it's a pretty decent boost. Certainly a significant boost from his GP card on the whole. But the biggest boost with this guy, skills. His GP card has pinpoint crossing, and that's it. So they've added scissors feint, soul control, through passing, weighted pass, interception, aerial superiority, and sliding tackle. There's a whole load of skills added to this guy. So for the skills alone, this is a really nice upgrade. I don't think he's really lacking a great deal. It would be nice if he had maybe his man marking blocker, but certainly interception I think is the most important one defensively on the fullback. It's got pinpoint crossing, weighted pass, through passing going forward. Soul control is nice. Aerial superiority is a nice boost on a fullback, and he's about 6 foot as well, so he'll be okay in the air, albeit the jumping and physical aren't brilliant. But yeah, it's clear where this guy's biggest strengths are. He's got crazy pace, he's got really good stamina. The defensives are okay. The technicals have been boosted a bit from his GP card, but it's still not brilliant. You'll have to be careful with this guy on the ball. Don't ask too much of him. I'd like a bit more physical contact, but it's not too bad. And the balance, again, would like a bit more. On the whole, I would love to say it's a pretty good card, but you need more than pace in a fullback. I think this is a card where if you're a Fulham fan, and maybe if you're American, if you've got some emotional reason to want a good version of this guy, especially with all these skills they've added to him, it could be a really good card for you to pick up. But I think just looking at it objectively, yes, he's got great pace and stamina, but outside of that, nothing's particularly great here. So unless pace is the only thing you're really bothered about in a fullback, I think on the whole, this isn't actually a brilliant card. But certainly compared to his GP card, for anyone who's got any emotional reason to want to sign this guy, it's a good version of him. It's just not a brilliant card on the whole for me. And this is a pretty interesting one. So for the first time in this pack, we've got a guy who's actually had his playing style changed and his positions. So he's normally a whole player, McAtee. They've made him a creative playmaker, and they've added right midfield and right wing forward to his positions. And that creative playmaker playing style will be active in all positions except for centre midfield. It won't be active there. I don't think I'll play him centre midfield. He's not got much defensive strength there. If you look at the attributes, there's nothing really with his skills to help out defensively. So I wouldn't look at him as a centre midfielder anyways. I'd look at him as someone who's going to play in one of those other three positions, and he would be a creative playmaker in those positions. Compared to his GP card, they have shuffled him around a bit. He's got a bit less ball control and tight possession, annoyingly. A bit less low pass as well. They've taken a bit away from his low pass. That's annoying. I guess if they're seeing this guy as more of a right winger than an attacking midfielder, then that might be less important, but I don't know why they'd take that away from him. He has had a fair boost to his pace, and that does suit him playing wide right for sure. Had a bit of a boost to his physical and aerial as well. And outside of that, yeah, slight boost to his GP card. So it's not an amazing card, but he does have qualities. You see the ball control and dribbling. Yes, they've taken a bit away from his ball control for some reason, but ball control and dribbling both getting to the 90 mark in the game plan when you get your game plan boost. If you're playing wide right, the passing's alright. I think as an attacking midfielder, low pass is too low. I wouldn't play him as an attacking midfielder. But wide right is low and lofted pass are okay. Finishing could be better, could be worse. We'll have a look at his skills and see what he's got there to back up his shooting and his passing. So they've added long range shooting from his GP card. They've taken away flip flap, but they've added long range shooting. They've added pinpoint crossing as well and gamesmanship. So yeah, in terms of end product, we've got long range shooting there, and then we've got one touch pass and through passing. So they will help with his low pass. I still wouldn't play him as an attacking midfielder, but certainly for someone playing on the right-hand side, left-footed, cutting inside, he's going to have a decent pass on him. Not amazing, but decent. Pinpoint crossing. Lofted pass 82, curl 80, kicking power 76. With pinpoint crossing, I'll have a decent enough crossing. Not a brilliant one, but decent. He's got outside curl as well, which is nice. So yeah, he's got a bit of end product. I would be careful not to ask too much from with his shooting. And likewise, even though he's got one touch pass and through passing, he's still only got 80 low pass. So he'll have a decent enough pass on him, but not a brilliant one. And like I say, his crossing will be decent, but not amazing. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums his card up, to be honest. It's a decent one, but it's not an amazing one. He's got a bit of pace. He's fairly tidy on the ball. He's got a little bit of end product, but on the whole, yeah, it's a different version of him to his GP card. Certainly an interesting version if you're a fan of this guy, but on the whole, again, you know, we're starting from the lowest rate, we're working our way up, so, you know, it's no big surprise that it's another card that, like the ones we've looked at so far, it's not amazing, it's by nowhere near being an elite level card. It does have some qualities though, it's just not anything to get particularly excited about for me unless you're a Sheffield United fan or maybe a Man City fan who he's on loan from. So yeah, you might have reasons to want to pick this guy up, in which case it's an interesting version of him, but ultimately, being objective about it, nothing too exciting, to be honest. Now we have another version of Pascal Gross from Brighton. So we've had a bunch of versions of Pascal Gross. This one is one of the better ones. There was one in one of those legend boxes, 150 player box. It only went to 92, which is one lower than this one, but it was down as an attacking midfielder. Ultimately, the dribbling was a few higher on that one. Kicking power and balance were a bit higher as well. But this one's a bit better with finishing, physical contact. I think the pace is slightly higher as well. So yeah, it's pretty much, it's slightly different in a few areas, but on the whole, it's pretty similar to that one that was in a legend box. It's around about the best version of Gross that we've had. It's on that kind of level at least. Compared to his GP card, we've lost a bit of his lofted pass for some weird reason. His kicking power and his balance are down a little bit as well. But he's had a really nice boost to his finishing, his acceleration, and his physical contact. And on the whole, as you'd expect, he's pretty tidy on the ball. He's got really nice passing. The attacking awareness and finishing are both hitting 80 with the game plan boost. So down the left, he's pretty tidy. He's got a little bit of defensive ability as well. Not the quickest. That's probably the biggest downside with Gross. He is a bit slow. Physical contact, that's had a nice boost. So he's got decent physical contact. Depends which position we're looking at here. But it's had a nice boost. Balance a bit dodgy. Like I say, that has been nerfed a bit for some weird reason. Stamina's pretty good. Unwavering form as well. Let's have a look at his skills, and we look at how good he'd be in each of these positions. So in the skills, what have they changed? They've taken away cut behind and turn, weighted pass, that's a bit of a shame, and sliding tackle, and they've added first time shot, track back, and interception. So interesting trade-off. I think it's a shame they've taken away weighted pass. I'd have preferred if we still had weighted pass and if they didn't add track back personally, but it's not the end of the world. I think first time shot certainly is a nice one to have. An interception definitely. Depends where you're playing though. But what we've got, soul control is a nice one to have. Long range curler, long range shooting and first time shot. So he's going to have a decent shot on him. One touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, low lofted pass. He's got some end product. So as you'd expect with Pascal Gross, he can shoot, he can create goals. Interception is a nice bonus. In terms of the positions you can use him in, you could get away with him as a centre midfielder. I wouldn't touch defensive midfield. He's nowhere near strong enough defensively, in my opinion. Nowhere near quick enough for right back. I think this is a guy you're looking at as a creative centre midfielder or an attacking midfielder where he won't have a play style active because box to box won't be active there, or a right midfielder. Box to box will be active at right midfield. It is an active playing style at right midfield. But with that pace, I don't think I'll think about that. I think ultimately you've got this guy as a centre mid, creative centre mid, as long as you've got one or two other centre mids, defensive mids who are doing the defensive work, and he can focus on creating from centre mid or playing without an active playing style as an attacking midfielder. Very tidy on the ball. He's got plenty of end product. Not the quickest. Again, he's one of these cards where if you like your dribblers, you like doing your skill moves and all the rest, he's probably not going to be your cup of tea. But if you don't mind the lack of pace, the fact he's not much of a dribbler, you just want to get him on the ball and have him being tidy in possession and creating and scoring goals. Could be a very effective one for you, either as an offensive minded centre mid or as an attacking midfielder. That rating 93, I think if you play him as an attacking midfielder, he'd effectively be about probably 95 or so in that position because he's much better suited to that position in my opinion. So yeah, centre mid or attacking mid, it's one of the better versions of Gross that we've had, and in the right hands, depending on what type of creative midfielders you like, could be a pretty nice card to pick up. Next up is Endo from Liverpool. So we've had a bunch of versions of Endo. This is right up there, I think, with the best of them. There was another one that goes up to 94, is in one of these legend boxes. I think it's in one of those boxes with 150 players in. Ultimately, this is pretty similar. The attributes are kind of shuffled around a bit. A few here are slightly higher, a few slightly lower. Ultimately, it's around the same level. That one you can't train though, obviously. These ones are trending cards, so you can't train them. Can't put positions or skills on them or anything. So there is a downside, but yeah, it's around that level in terms of the attributes. Compared to his GP card, they give him a pretty nice boost to his pace. Kicking power as well is up a bit. Low pass had a little bit of a boost. Balance likewise. Yeah, it's a pretty nice boost to be honest. This is a nice version of Endo. They've also changed quite a few skills around. So they've taken away weighted pass and low lofted pass, which is a shame, especially with weighted. I do like that one, but they've added one touch pass and through passing. And then defensively, they've taken away acrobatic clearance and captaincy, and they've replaced them with blocker, aerial superiority, and sliding tackle. So there's one or two skills we've lost that it's a bit of a shame to not have anymore, but they've certainly added some important ones. So yeah, as a defensive midfielder, he's got a really good selection of skills. One touch pass and through passing. He's got heading and aerial superiority. He's not the tallest, and his aerial and physical attributes aren't brilliant, but he will be decent in the air. And then defensively, man marking, interception, blocker, and he's got sliding, tackle, and fighting spirit as well. He's got a good selection of skills for a defensive midfielder. So, yeah, like I said, it's a good version of him. As a defensive mid with that anchorman playing style, sitting in front of your defense, defensive attributes all going to be 90 plus with your game plan. He's got a decent pace for DMF, decent kicking power. The jumping and physical are okay. Pretty decent to be fair. Balance is decent as well. Stamina's great. Probably down this left column here is the only slight concern, but it depends on how much importance you place on these. I personally, if you watch my videos before, you know that I like a bit more on these. I like the ball control and the low pass, especially to get into the 80s on a defensive midfielder. So if you share that opinion, you might feel like he's a little bit lacking down here, but I think a lot of people probably think that's fine. As long as you're very careful with him on the ball, he's not going to be too comfortable in possession, and likewise, don't ask too much from with his passing. You could get away with that. So if you think these stats are okay, certainly everywhere else he's very strong, very, very good defensive midfielder. As a centre back, you could probably get away with it. He's not the tallest, but he's got aerial superiority, so he's not going to be brilliant in the air, but he's not going to be too weak either. Physical contact I would like to be higher on a centre back, but decent pace for a centre back, great stamina. These defensive attributes down the middle, these are the important ones in the centre back, all 90 plus with your game plan boost if you've got an 88 rated manager. And down the left, he's very nice for a centre back, so you could get away with him as a centre back. The skills are he's got pretty much everything he needs as a centre-back. Maybe if he's still had acrobatic clearance, that would be nice. But yeah, with the skills and the attributes he's got, you could certainly get away with him as a centre-back if you needed someone. And his other position, centre midfield, not for me. He's got no attacking awareness. He's not comfortable on the ball. His passing is not good enough for a centre midfield, in my opinion. Skill set, yeah, would be fine, but it's just these attributes on the left. I would not want him as a centre midfielder. I think that'd be a waste as well. He wouldn't have an active playing style there. So yeah, plenty of the qualities you'd need for a centre mid, but not all of them. There's a few weaknesses, but as a defensive midfielder, I think a very strong card. As a centre back, if you needed to put him there, could certainly do a pretty decent job for you. Unwavering form as well. So yeah, this is a good version of Endo. And now we have the best version of Dominic Solanke that we've had so far. So, yeah, goal poacher, and it's a decent one. It is the best version of him that we've had, but I still don't think it's an amazing card. He's got qualities. Obviously, the awareness and the finishing, you're going to hit 90 with both of those if you've got an 88 rated manager. Those are the two most important ones on the striker. With the goal poacher playing style, I always say I want a bit of pace on the centre forward. It's kind of borderline for me. 85 for speed is probably just about okay, but acceleration only 75, a bit frustrating. So not as quick as I'd like him to be, but he could be slower. Compared to his GP card, he's actually lost a bit of his acceleration. That is frustrating. His balance is down a bit as well. That's also frustrating. That's an important attribute on the striker. Stamina slightly down as well. But apart from that, like I say, it's the best version of him that we've had, and he has had a nice boost across his other attributes. So yeah, as a goal poacher, he's got a bit of pace, not as much as I'd like. He's got a bit of physical and aerial ability as well. Let's have a look at his skills, see if he's got aerial superiority. He doesn't. Okay, so he's not going to be amazing in the air, but he's just over 6'1", with a bit of jumping and physical there, heading 81. Does have the heading skill. He should be okay from crosses, even if he's not overly dominant in the air. Long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot. He's got the shooting skills. Heel trick's a nice one. One touch pass. They've added one touch pass, I think. And long range shooting as well. One touch pass and long range shooting. I think they've added those two skills. I'm pretty sure that's the only changes they've made to the skills. So yeah, he's got the most important ones for a centre forward, for a goal poacher. One touch pass and long range shooting. Nice additions there. It's the best version of Solanke we've had. If you like this guy in the game, or if you like him in real life, if you're a Bournemouth fan, this could be a really good card for you to pick up. But outside of that, just generally speaking, he's kind of okay on the ball, but not brilliant. His passing's all right for centre forward. The awareness and finishing, like I say, they hit the mark. They get to the mark where you want them to be for a centre forward. Bit of heading and aerial ability. Bit of pace about him, not as much as I'd like. Good kicking power. Stamina's decent. It's a fairly good card, but it's not one I'll get overly excited about. I think for this card to really be one that I'll be that keen to get, I'd like him to be a little bit better on the ball and have a bit more pace about him as well. And aerial superiority would have been a really nice one to really kind of complete him. But yeah, a few attributes I'd like to be a bit higher, but he does have qualities and he could be a pretty useful centre forward. This is a popular guy on eFootball. A lot of people love this guy. I'm a big fan of his. So we've had a few good versions of Eze before. We had one in one of those legend boxes. That one was a lot better on the ball than this one. Those three on the ball attributes were much higher, but this one is better with finishing, pace, kicking power, and physical contact. So pros and cons compared to that one. It's better than the classic number 10 player of the week card in terms of his attributes. And there's also a player of the week version that was down as a centre midfielder, very similar on the whole to that one. So yeah, it's one of the better versions of Eze that we've had. If you don't have a good version already, and if you get this one, I think you can be very happy. He feels really nice on the ball, Eze. I've used two versions of him in the past. I've got one from a Premier League pack. Really like it. It's a very good player to have. It's got the whole player playing style. That will be active centre mid, attacking mid, left mid. Won't be active if you're playing as a left wing forward. He could play there though without an active playing style. He's got pace. He's good on the ball. He's got some end product as well. Unwavering form, nice bonus. The attributes compared to his GP card, he's a bit worse on the ball compared to his GP card. I hate when they do that. The first thing you look at with Eze, that's what he's best at on the ball with his dribbling, what he's like in possession of the ball. That's the biggest strength he's got, and they made him a little bit worse than his GP card. Someone make sense of that to me. It's so annoying. Lofted passes down a bit as well, but they have boosted his finishing. He's kind of nice bit of a boost to his pace. His kicking power's up a bit. Physical contact's had a big boost. I think 14 higher his physical contact, so stronger physically. And yeah, on the whole, it's like I say, it's obviously a good version of Wissa because it's one of the best ones. So yeah, on the whole, very nice. Frustrating one or two attributes that have gone down when I don't think that makes any sense, but it is what it is. On the whole, it's still a very nice card. When you hit your game plan boost, you're still going into the 90s and all three of those attributes on the ball. Attacking awareness already over 80, which is great for a whole player. Passing could be better. It's not brilliant, but it's, you know, it still could be worse. It's decent enough. Probably depends where you're playing. If you're playing them through the middle, I'd say the passing is probably a bit on the low side. I personally use my Eze as a left midfielder. I love him left midfield. He's so nice, really good on the ball, takes up good positions. My Eze, I've given him one touch passing through passing because he doesn't normally have that, but they've given him one touch passing through passing this time. They've also given him first time shot, long range shooting, and long range curler. So they're giving him a really nice selection of skills to give him some real end product on this card. Is really nice. But the dribblers might be a bit disappointed that he's lost Marseille turn and cut behind him turn, and he's also lost acrobatic finishing and then penalty specialist and gamesmanship. I think those two you can certainly afford to lose. I think most people won't mind too much about losing acrobatic finishing. But yeah, on the whole, I think a very nice trade-off. You've still got double touch, flip-flop, soul control. I'm pretty sure that gives you that ball roll double touch or whatever it's called. But end product-wise, yeah, like I say, the shooting skills and the passing skills to give him more end product. He's already got pinpoint crossing. Outside curl is a nice one to have. He still doesn't have brilliant passing, only 83 for low pass, so I wouldn't feel too comfortable playing him through the middle, but you could certainly get away with that if you're careful with his passing, but certainly wide left, that's where I use him. I use him wide left. I have him left midfield as a whole player. The fact that I give him one touch pass through passing, he's already got pinpoint crossing, and now he's got first time shot, long range curler, long range shooting, 80 for finishing. He's going to be very, very nice playing off that left flank. He's got the pace, he's very good on the ball, the awareness, a bit of passing for a wide man. His passing is okay if you play him out wide, finishing is good if you play him out wide, good balance going over 90 with the game plan boost. Stamina probably will get a bit tired, that's something to keep an eye on, but ultimately, like I say, I've used one or two versions of Eze in the past, and like a lot of people who've used him, I really, really love him. He's a fun one to use, and this is one of the best versions we've had of him, and that's before you even factor in the fact they've given him a bunch of very important skills. So this is a really nice version of Eze, and this is one of the more appealing cards in the pack for me. Now we have another interesting one because Wissa has the same positions as his GP card, but they've changed him from a roaming flank to a goal poacher. He's normally down with he's normally got a registered position of a left wing forward. They've changed him to a centre forward, so he's a goal poacher now. There's been a previous version of Wissa that was in a Premier League pack. That version of him was down as a winger and it had more pace and was a bit better on the ball, but this one is better with attacking awareness and finishing, kicking power, and the physicals as well are stronger. So depends what you want from him, but as a striker he's certainly got some advantages over that previous Premier League version, and obviously the playing style. Compared to his GP card, they've taken a bit off his ball control and tight possession. I can be a bit more understanding of them changing some of the attributes around, certainly some of the reductions in certain attributes this time around because they've changed his position, so it's a bit more understandable. So he's got a bit less ball control and tight possession in his GP card. I can understand that. Bit less balance though, that's a bit frustrating. But they've boosted his awareness, they've boosted his passing a little bit. He's got a bit more stamina. He's had a pretty nice boost on his finishing and his kicking power compared to his GP card. And they've given a real boost to his heading, his jumping, and his physical contact as well. Very significant. He's got unwavering form as well, which is nice. Skill-wise, they've added to. They've given him rising shot and first-time shot, which is crucial if you do play him as a centre forward. So this is definitely a Wissa card that's very well suited to playing as a centre forward compared to what he normally is. He's a super sub as well. Always nice to have a super sub. Soul control is a nice one there. He's already got long range curler and acrobatic finishing, two nice ones to have for a centre forward. So in terms of the skills, he's got the skills to be a finisher. Based on his attributes, how good is he as a centre forward? Well, he's certainly got very good pace. That matches his playing style very well. Pace for a goal poacher, very important. Bit of kicking power. He's got a lot more physical than he normally does. He's not the strongest still, but I mean, what is he height-wise? 5'8", 5'9", something like that. He's not exactly going to be dominant in the air, but he's certainly had a boost on his physicals and his aerial ability. Balance is alright, that's decent. Stamina's okay. Down the left there, I think for a centre forward he's okay. Certainly the dribbling for a centre forward is good, so that's nice. Low enough to pass, they'll both get to 70 plus with the game plan boost. Not brilliant, but that's okay for a centre forward. It comes down to these two for me. Attacking awareness 84, finishing 85. I would like more on a 5-star centre forward. They're not brilliant. They're not disastrously bad by any means, but on a centre forward, I even especially with your game plan boost, I would like both of those to get to the 90 mark, and they're not going to. So, bit frustrating for me. So, on the whole, as a version of Wissa, if you like the guy, if he's someone you like in the game or in real life, it's a good version of him that you could pick up as a centre forward. They've definitely made him very well suited to playing centre forward with the skills that they've given him, the playing style that he's got, and the way they've shuffled his attributes around. Just look at it in isolation as a centre forward. Like I say, he's got some great qualities. He's got the pace to make use of that goal poacher playing style. Some of the attributes down the right are pretty nice, pretty tidy on the ball for centre forward. It just comes down to awareness and finishing for me. That's what holds him back. If his awareness and finishing were close to 90, and they went past the 90 mark with the game plan boost, I'd say this is a really nice card. As it is, it's not a bad one at all. It's a decent one. I just don't think it's amazing. So, yeah, if you've got a reason to like this guy, if you're a Brentford fan, for example, it could be a really nice version of him to pick up. And it's certainly not a bad card at all. It's just not quite that amazing. And next up is Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest. So, it's an interesting one. There was once a Player of the Week card of this guy that was brilliant. It was down as a centre forward and a deep lying forward. He's normally a whole player. That deep lying forward centre forward card, if you look at the attributes as an attacking midfielder, which is what this guy is primarily, it was actually better than this one. Although this one does have better finishing and awareness. But apart from that Player of the Week card, if you got that card, it was actually better than this one. There was a version of Gibbs-White that was in one of those legend boxes. This one's got better awareness and finishing, but otherwise that one was also slightly better than this one. But outside of those two, it's a good version of him. Like I said, whole player, that's his regular playing style. Position-wise, he's got all the normal positions he has down the middle, but they've added left wing and right wing forward positions, so you can play him out wide. That's an interesting addition. Taking a little bit off his dribbling compared to his GP card, and also his low and lofted pass. That's very annoying. On an attacking midfielder, Player of the Season or Team of the Season card, whatever you want to call this, why would you make his passing worse? That's just weird. They have, however, given him a nice little boost on his attacking awareness, on his finishing. His pace is up a little bit, kicking powers up a bit, physical contact's up as well. That's up to the 70 mark. And skill-wise, got an interesting one in there. Unwavering form as well. Nice little bonus. Skill-wise, they've taken away heel trick. That's a bit of a shame. Low lofted pass and fighting spirit. They've added long range curler. That's a nice addition. They've added through passing. That's a very nice addition. And they've added penalty specialist. As far as I'm aware, I checked this on SofaScore. He took one penalty last season, and he scored it. So one penalty is enough to get you penalty specialist, apparently. I don't know if I'm mistaken. He's taken other penalties that I didn't see or that I didn't know about. But as far as I'm aware, he scored one penalty, and that's got him penalty specialist. Nice. I would have preferred Hiltrick to stay there personally, but yeah, interception is a nice bonus on an attacking player, but through passing as a really nice addition, as I mentioned. So one touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, you've got pinpoint crossing as well. Outside curl is a nice one to have. And with his shooting as well, long range curl, long range shooting, and first time shot, with the fact they boosted his finishing. It's a pretty nice version of him. Like I say, it's very annoying they've taken a bit off his passing. But the trade-off is they've given him through passing, I guess. Finishing up to 85 with those shooting skills. This guy's got a nice shot on him. I wouldn't touch centre midfield with him. He does have interception, but as you can see, his defensive attributes are rubbish. I wouldn't play him as a centre mid. I think that's a waste of the abilities he's got. Attacking midfield or SS, I think it's probably where he's going to be best, with that whole player playing style being active. He's got good awareness. He's got very good finishing for a kind of number 10 type of player, especially with those skills that he's got. He can pass, even though his passing not because it normally is, but he does have through passing added, tidy on the ball, decent amount of pace. Would like a bit more balance, a bit more stamina as well. As a whole player, he's going to get tired. But yeah, as an attacking middle and SS, he's got a bit of everything for that type of a player. You could get away with him out wide. I don't think he's quite got the pace to make him really effective wide left or right, but you could probably get away with him. They could do a job for you, but certainly to get the most out of him, I think through the middle. Centre forward, 83 attacking awareness, 85 finishing. Like with Wissa, I would like them to be higher as a centre forward. He'd be playing there without an active playing style, but he's got a bit of pace about him. He'd be very tidy on the ball for a centre forward. He'd have very nice passing for a centre forward. He's got a good selection of skills for a centre forward. You could get away with him playing up front, to be honest. I wouldn't do that personally. Like I said, I think the awareness and the finishing for me are what holds him back from being usable as a centre forward, but he does have other qualities there. But I think, yeah, like I say, to get the most out of him as a kind of number 10 playing attacking midfielder, or SS with that whole player playing style, making runs forward, tidy on the ball, he's got end product with his passing and shooting. It's not the best version we've had. We've had a couple of previous ones that are better, but outside of those two, it's a pretty good version of him. Now we have Ollie Watkins. We've had a bunch of versions of Watkins at this point. This guy goes up to 94. We've had a few previous ones that go to 94. This is slower than all those previous ones. It's also got lower balance than those other ones. But the trade-off is it's got much better passing than those other ones. So it's an interesting difference from this one compared to those other ones that go to the same kind of rating. I'm not sure I'd personally to go for that pacing. For the passing, sorry, I would rather have the passing stay lower and have the kind of pace that and balance that those other ones have. So on that basis, I personally would say those previous versions of Watkins are better than this one, but it's personal preference. You might really like your striker to have good passing, I guess. He's tidy enough on the ball, awareness and finishing. If you've got a high enough rated manager, you're going to get to the 90 mark on both of those, which is great. He has a decent amount of pace, like with Solanke. Has he got enough pace to really make the most of that goal poacher playing style? He's certainly not slow. I'd like a bit more pace on him, but I mean, he's got more acceleration than Solanke, that's for sure. So he's got a decent amount of pace, pretty good kicking power, got a bit of jumping on him at 80. He's about 5'10", 5'10", almost 5'11". So he could be okay in the air. Does he have aerial superiority? Yes, he does. So he'll be all right in the air. Doesn't have heading though, and he doesn't have acrobatic finishing. So I'm not sure how brilliant he's going to be from crosses. Heading 81, jumping 80, physical 73, about 5'10", 5'11". Yeah, he'll be decent enough at getting his head to certain crosses, but how good his heading is going to be without the heading skill, questionable. Comparing him to his GP card with his attributes, I've taken a bit off his acceleration, that's frustrating. I've taken a bit off his jumping actually as well, and his balance. That's about it really. Apart from that, fairly nice boost across the board. Like I say, the awareness and finishing are the most important ones. Good enough manager gets you to 90, both of those. That passing, very nice on a centre forward. Really good passing for a centre forward. Skill-wise, they have added the most important skill for a striker. He doesn't normally have first-time shot. They've given him first-time shots. So that's a big addition. Outside curl is a nice one to add as well. They've given him that. And also long-range curler alongside long-range shooting, which he's already got. Heel trick's another nice one to have. Like I say, aerial superiority. So they will help him winning some headers, but how good those headers will be if he does win them, I'm not sure. He'll be decent in the air, decent at winning headers, and probably decent at heading the ball, just not amazing. Yeah, it's a fairly good card on the whole. There aren't many major weaknesses. I'd like a bit more pace. It would be nice if he had the heading skill. Ultimately, it's a pretty decent centre forward. It's just a little bit frustrating that we've had a few previous versions that had a bit more pace and a bit more balance, both of which are very important on the goal poacher. Yes, you've got a lot more passing on this guy. And if passing is more important for you, you might think this is a fantastic version of him. But on the basis that they've boosted him there compared to these previous versions of him and taken a bit away compared to those versions with his pace and his balance, I would say it's a slightly disappointing version of him. But getting him first time shot, that's a big addition. And on the whole, it is a pretty nice boost compared to his GP card. So not the best version of him that we've had, but ultimately it is a decent card. It's a decent centre forward. I'll try not to be biased with this one because I'm a Newcastle fan. So we've got Anthony Gordon. No change to his positions or his playing style. He's a prolific winger. That will be active as a left wing forward or a right wing forward. He will not have an active playing style playing left mid, attacking mid or right mid. His passing is nowhere near good enough to play as an attacking midfielder. He's very much a winger. We've had one previous version of Gordon that was a bit better than this. Nominating contract one. I mean, it's pretty similar to fair, not a lot of difference, but that nominating contract one has better balance. Considerably better balance actually than this one, but this one does have a bit more awareness, a little bit more low pass as well. So yeah, pros and cons very similar. I'd say it's pretty much on the same level as that nominating contract one, to be honest. Those two would be the best version of this guy so far. So it's a good version of Anthony Gordon. Compared to his GP card, his speed's ever so slightly down, balance is slightly down, stamina slightly down. Apart from that, fairly nice boost. It's a good version of him, like I say, along with the nominating contract one that we've had. I think probably about as good a version we've had of Gordon. He's quick, he's good on the ball, he's got good attacking awareness, Finishing's pretty good for a wide man. Passing's not brilliant. Be careful not to ask too much from with his passing. Balance is probably the big disappointment really out of all his attributes. Don't know why I'm taking that down a bit. It's a bit frustrating. But yeah, be careful with his balance. That's not great. Stamina a little bit on the low side as well. Looking at his skills, what they've done, they have removed cut behind and turn. So we've lost cut behind and turn. They've added first time shot. That's a very good one to have. And they've added track back. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think in terms of realism, at least he should have had track back all along. To be honest, he's definitely got that in real life. So yeah, he's got a good section of skills. To be honest, long range curler, dipping shot, long range shooting, and now first time shot. He's got a great section of skills to back up his finishing, which is 80. Was it 80? Yeah, 80. So he's got the skills. He's gonna have a good shot on him for a wide man. His passing attributes aren't brilliant, but he does have one touch pass and through passing and pinpoint crossing. They won't make his passing or his crossing good, but they will improve it. I would still say be careful not to ask too much for him because he's not going to have brilliant passing or crossing. But yeah, on the whole, pretty good section of skills. Soul control is a nice one to have. It's pretty clear what he's good at. Like I say, it's the pace and the dribbling. You're going to get the ball with this guy. I think wide left as a right foot, so cutting inside and getting shots away is definitely the best way to use this guy. I wouldn't touch attacking midfield with his passing being so low. Right wing, he's not going to be good enough for crossing. He doesn't have outside curl, I don't think. Nope. No. So yeah, wide left, inverted winger, cut inside into the right foot. He's got the shooting skills to back up that finishing attribute. He's got a shot on him. So with the strengths he's got, quick and good on the ball, bit of finishing. And like I say, it's about as good a version of Anthony Gordon we've had. If this is your type of player, I think it's a pretty good card. But yeah, that balance sticks out for me. It's a bit frustrating. But other than that, yeah, it's a good version of Gordon. A pretty good card on the whole. Diogo Dalot is next up. So, Diogo Dalot, have we had a better version? We've had a 95 rated version in a Man United pack. Apart from that one, this is the best we've had, I think. So, it's one of the better versions of Dalot that we've had in the game. I'll tell you one thing that he does have over that Man U pack version. I'm gonna start on the skills with this guy because he normally only has pinpoint crossing, interception, and sliding tackle. They've added a whole load of skills. So that one in the Man U pack, if you put a load of good skills in the one from the Man U pack, it's better than this one. If you haven't done that, or if you haven't got that version, all the skills they've added on this one, this is a great version of Dalot. So in addition to pinpoint crossing, interception, and sliding tackle, we've got now first time shot, one touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, man marking, blocker, fighting spirit. So we've got a fantastic selection of skills for an attacking fullback here. The passing, the crossing, the defensive skills, very, very nice indeed. In terms of the attributes, how good is he though? Pace, good. Stamina, fantastic. Defensives, all right. On the ball, the technicals here, yeah, they're decent enough. It's not an amazing card. I would like these defenses to be a bit higher. I always look to... I want these defensive attributes down the middle to hit 80 with my game plan boost. I want them all to hit 80. That's the kind of mark that I aim for on a fullback. So he falls a little bit short for me. I think the pace is fine. Good jumping on him actually. 6 foot tall, 85 jumping. He's not got aerial superiority, but should be decent enough in the air. For a fullback, he should win a few headers. Balance is a bit low. That's a bit disappointing. 71. Physical contact's decent though for a fullback. Great stamina, as I mentioned. I think down here he's fine. I don't have a major issue with any of his attributes. I'd like the type possession to be a bit higher, but all the other ones here on the ball and with his passing will go to 80 plus with the game plan boost, and he's certainly got the skills to back up his passing and his crossing. And likewise, the defensive skills, he might not have the best defensive attributes with the skills that they've added though. He's a pretty decent fullback. I think ultimately it comes down to what kind of fullbacks you like. If you like your fullbacks to be primarily defensively strong, especially if you like them with the defensive playing style, he might not make the grade for you defensively. But if you like an all-rounder of a fullback, or especially if you like an attacking fullback and you mainly want him to be getting forward and helping in the attacks and getting crosses in for you, getting up and down the flank, could be a pretty nice card to pick up. He's got right midfield, but I wouldn't play him there. I don't think he's quite good enough with his offensive attributes to play as a right midfielder. He's not overly two-footed. He doesn't have outside curler, so I'm not sure how comfortable he'd be at the left back, but he does have left back if you really needed someone to play there. But yeah, as a right back, certainly as an attacking right back. In fact, I forgot to compare him to his GP card. Just looking now at his GP card, they've taken 5 off his speed and 8 off his kicking power. Why have you done that? Yeah, that's very annoying. Apart from that, he's had a pretty nice boost across the board, to be honest. He's a nice version of Dalot. As I say, it's one of the best versions we've had of him, but taking a bunch off his speed and kicking power, what have he done that for? But yeah, like I say, still good enough down this right-hand side. If you like attacking right-backs, he's definitely got the skills and got the attributes to be a pretty decent option there, but he's certainly not an elite level fullback with the defensives and the balance being a bit low. So yeah, in a few areas he's not quite that brilliant, but on the whole it's one of the better versions we've had of Dalot. And if you like an attacking fullback who's good going forward and he can do it, he certainly do a bit defensively. I think he's a pretty good card on the whole. And now we have a fullback who can defend. This is a defensive fullback. We've got our first special version of Gusto on eFootball. Defensive fullback playing style. We don't get that many good defensive fullbacks. So if that's a playing style that you like on your fullbacks, this could be a really nice card for you. So he's normally an offensive fullback. They've changed him to a defensive fullback. I don't know if they're going to do that moving forward. If all the versions of him moving forward are going to be defensive, or if it's just for this one. But this one is defensive. They've added right midfield. I'm just going to nip that in the bud straight away. He's not good enough going forward. I think if you really want to get value out of this guy, you've got to play him at right back and get the most out of him there, because he's got the qualities to be really good as a right back, much better at right back than the right midfield. So I'm just going to look at this guy as a right back with a defensive fullback playing style active. Compared to his GP card, again, they're taking a bunch off his speed. 7 off his speed. Kicking power is down a bit as well. Kicking down to only 69. 3 off his stamina. But generally speaking, it is a nice boost though. Outside of those attributes, he's had a bit of a boost across the board. It's a good version of Gusto. Obviously, the first special version we've had of him, so it goes without saying it's the best version we've had. On the ball, tight possession's horrible. Be careful on the ball. Don't start trying too much left stick dribbling with him, because the little twists and turns, you might struggle. I've mentioned before, I picked up a player of the week, Estepinian, and he had about 70 for tight possession, and you really noticed it. He was good for the most part, but any time it came to those situations where you have to twist and turn when you got a defender pressuring you or an opponent pressuring you, he wasn't the most manoeuvrable. It was very frustrating. I ended up releasing him, so keep an eye on that tight possession. But outside of that, the ball control is just about passable. Dribbling's decent on a fullback. Low and lofted pass, likewise. 80 is decent on a fullback. I think for those of you like a defensive fullback, you're probably not even that bothered about these attributes. These are probably just about fine on a defensive fullback for the majority of people. The core defensive attributes, all 80 plus before your game plan boost. So he's strong defensively. Even though they've taken a chunk off his speed for some reason, he still has good pace for a fullback. Physical contact is decent enough for a fullback. Balance is just about fine. That's going to get to 80 with your game plan boost. And then stamina likewise will get to 90 with your game plan boost. So really, yeah, the tight possession is a bit dodgy, but outside of that, all the other attributes, he's a good, solid fullback. So let's have a look at his skills. What's the situation there? They've not taken any away. They've added man marking and blocker and aerial superiority as well. What's his jumping like? It's not too bad. So he's about 5'9", 5'10", something like that. He'll be all right in the air. He'll be decent in the air for fullback with aerial superiority. But on the whole, with the skills now, got a couple of skill moves and soul control if you like a bit of dribbling. Pinpoint crossing is an important one, but he's not going to get forward too much with that defensive fullback playing style. Defensively though, man marking, interception, blocker, aerial superiority, sliding tackle, fighting spirit. Very nice selection of skills. I think that skill set is brilliant for a defensive fullback, and the attributes I think suit that playing style really well as well. So yeah, I think this is just one of those ones where it comes down to the playing style. If that's a playing style for you, if that's a type of fullback that you like, I think this is a really good card. I don't think there's a major weakness. The tight possession is dodgy, but outside of that, the technicals are fine, the defensives are strong, the pace is strong, the stamina is strong, physical and balance are just about on the mark. Great selection of skills to back up his playing style and his position. Yeah, as a defensive right back, I think this is a very good card. And this is a very interesting one. So this is the highest rated Lucas Paquetá we've had. This is definitely the best version of it that we've had. What's interesting is that every previous version of Paquetá has been a creative playmaker, but they've made this one a classic number 10. So that might not suit everyone. If you really like that creative playmaker playing style, then you might not be so keen on this one, but I think a lot of people do like that playing style since they changed it. A classic number 10 is basically going to bomb forward at every opportunity, and they're just not going to track back. He's going to be taking a lot of good attacking positions, but that playing style will only be active at attacking midfield out of all the positions he's got. It will not be an active playing style at centre midfield, left midfield, or left wing forward if you choose to play him in any of those positions, so keep that in mind. But but I don't think I'll be playing him in any of those positions. I think defensively there's nothing there. I don't think he's strong enough defensively to play as a centre mid. As a left winger, does he have the pace? Not really. He's going to be great at crossing, even if he had pinpoint crossing, which he doesn't. I don't think he'd be great left winger. I think the best position for this guy is definitely attacking midfield, in which case classic number 10 will be an active playing style. And like I say, he's going to be boring forward, taking up a lot of good attacking positions and not doing any tracking back whatsoever. On-moving form is nice. Compared to his GP card, it's slightly worse on the ball, but at least he's going to still go over 90 when you get your game plan boost for all three of those attributes. He's got a bit less balance than his GP card as well, annoying. But across the board, again, his other attributes, pretty nice. He's a good version of Paquetá. It's the best version we've had. I think the best version we've had previously goes to like 93 or something. So yeah, this is a very nice version of him. If you like this guy, this could be a really nice one to pick up. Good attacking awareness, that helps with that classic number 10 playing style. As I mentioned, on the ball, 90 plus when you get your game plan boost, and all three of those. He's got a nice low pass. If you've got an 88 rated manager, he's going to get to 90 for low pass. Finishing is going over 80. Pace for an attacking midfielder is okay. It's decent enough. Physical contact's decent in that position. Balance, I would like it to be a bit better. It's a bit of a shame, but it's not disastrously low. And then stamina, that's going to be absolutely fine with that classic number 10 playing style. Playing wide left or centre mid, he might get a bit tired late in the game. Probably will, but like I say, I think this guy is definitely at his best in attacking midfield, and with that classic 10 playing style, he will not be tracking back, and he will not be getting tired. That stamina is absolutely fine. Looking at the skills, they have taken a bunch of skills away. They've taken away sombrero, chip shot control, no-look pass, and penalty specialist. They've added double touch, flip-flap, and along with soul control, that means he's now got the ball roll, double touch, whatever you call it. I'm pretty sure about that. He's also got Marseille turn and chop turn, so he's got a bunch of skills for the skillers. But they've also added, in fact, it's soul control they added, not flip-flap. So yeah, double touch, soul control, but like I say, he still has that combination for the ball roll thingy. And they've also added long range curler and long range shooting, interestingly. So they've added some end product there. He's already got through passing. It would be nice if he had one touch pass. It's a bit of a miss on an attacking midfielder. Heel trick's a nice one. Acrobatic finishing likewise. But long range curler and long range shooting, with his finishing going over 80 with the game plan boost. That's nice. He's now got nice shooting. Through passing with that low pass, potentially getting to 90. He's got nice passing. Very comfortable on the ball. Attacking awareness with that classic 10 playing style. Getting into good positions. A little bit of pace about him. This is a nice card. Like I say, it's the best version of Paquetá that we've had. It's a different playing style. If that suits you with that playing style, I think this is a really nice card. As an attacking midfielder, yeah, this is a really good one. If you're a fan of Paquetá, if that playing style works for you, it could be a really good card to pick up. Next up is Pedro Neto, and we have had one previous special version of Neto, and that was a play, as in one of those play-to-win legend boxes. This one is slightly better though. So for me, best version of Pedro Neto that we've had. And it's a pretty nice boost. For once, I can't really complain about anything because I don't think they've really nerfed anything compared to his GP card, which is unusual but nice. So yeah, a nice boost they've given him. Best version of him that we've had. He's rapid. He's what you'd expect from Pedro Neto. He's rapid. He's good on the ball. Good attacking awareness. Great balance. A little bit lacking in end product there. I'll have a look at what they've done with his skills. So they've added double touch and flip flap. And he's already got soul control. So again, like with Paquetá, you've now got your ball roll double touch. They've added pinpoint crossing as well, and he's already got long range curler. Those are the two skills he's got around end product. So yeah, he's definitely one that's going to be all about the dribbling, the pace, the dribbling, the skill moves. If that's the type of player that you like, he's got a lot of qualities that, and I think he'll be a very fun card for you to pick up. But the question mark for me is the end product, because all he's really got skill wise is long range curler and pinpoint crossing. And in terms of his attributes, not great. So low pass a bit iffy, lofted pass, even with pinpoint crossing 72, is not high enough. He's not gonna have a good cross on him. You have to be very careful not to ask too much from with his passing. And finishing 75, yes, he's got long range curler, but again, don't ask too much from he's not gonna have brilliant finishing. So be careful with his finishing as well. But if you are careful enough with his passing and his shooting, with the quality he's got on the ball, with the pace he's got, the balance, good attacking awareness, he could be a really nice one to pick up. He's a left footer. I think he's definitely at his best playing as an inverted wing on the right hand side, cutting inside, getting into shooting positions. And like I say, just being careful with the shooting. Don't ask too much of him. He's not got the awareness and certainly the finishing to play as a centre forward. He's not got the passing to play as an SS. You can't cross it well enough to play as a left winger. Right midfield without a playing style, or right wing forward as a prolific winger. Like I say, that for me is where you're going to get the most out of this guy. Cutting onto his left foot, the pace, the dribbling. Be careful with the end product, and if you like the qualities that this guy's got as very much a dribbler, a skill merchant with the skills that he's got and everything, yeah, he's that type of player. And if that suits you, it could be a really fun card to pick out. Just be careful with that end product. And now we have the best version we've had so far of Vicario from Spurs. And this is a good goalkeeper card. So, normally a defensive goalkeeper, but he's an attacking goalkeeper now. I'm not sure they've changed him moving forward, but certainly this version is an attacking goalkeeper. There's been a couple of Player of the Week versions that were defensive keeper, but he's an attacking midfielder this time. Sorry, attacking goalkeeper this time. He's definitely not a midfielder. And his attributes, very nice. So when you get your game plan boost, you're going to go 90 plus on awareness, parrying, reflexes, and reach. His reflexes with a 88 rated manager go to 97. So yeah, this is a really good goalkeeper card. It's got unwavering form as well. They've also added low punt. A lot of people will like that. Yeah, it's a really good goalkeeper card. As always with a Player of the Week or Player of the Month goalkeeper, when a goalkeeper's been producing excellent form, he obviously forgets how to jump. So, you know, I'll always have that rant until they finally stop doing that because it's absolute nonsense. But yeah, terrible at jumping, brilliant at goalkeeping. But on the whole, like I say, he's attacking this time instead of defensive. They're giving him low punt. He's got unwavering form, great goalkeeping attributes. This is a really good goalkeeper card. And from Tottenham to Arsenal, we've now got another version of Gabriel Magalhães. So, we had one from an Arsenal pack that went to the same level, 96. That one was a little bit better defensively, but this one's got a bit more acceleration. On the whole, about the same level, obviously the same rating. Those two, I think, are the best two versions of Magalhães that we've had. And it's a pretty good centre-back card. He's a destroyer. The defences are pretty strong. 90 plus on 3 of them already, but even when you get a game plan boost, we've got an 88 rated manager. Engagement should hit 90 as well. So 90 plus on all 4 of them with a good enough manager. The pace, he's not exactly got great pace, but he's quick enough for a centre-back. Jumping at 80, he's about 6'3". Physical contact is fantastic. Jumping 80, he's going to need aerial superiority to make him good in the air, and he has it, which is great. So, he's going to be fairly strong in the air, not too dominant. 6'3", only 80 for jumping with aerial superiority. I think on the whole, it'll be good in the air. Not amazing, but good. Passing's pretty nice over here. Compared to his GP card, he's lost a bit off his defensive engagement. Like I said, I should still hit 90 with a good enough manager. But it's a nice boost on the whole. But yeah, strong physically and strong enough aerially. Pace is okay. Strong defensives there. Nice passing for a centre-back. And if we look at all the skills, they've actually added a bunch. He already has heading and aerial superiority. He also already has man-marking interception. But they've added one-touch pass, weighted pass, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, and fighting spirit. So they've added a whole bunch of skills here. I think he's got pretty much every skill you need for a centre-back now. So there's a great selection of skills you got in him. And that's an advantage over other versions of him that we've had. They seem to do this with a lot of these Player of the Season cards. They really fill out the skills. So yeah, especially with those nice bonus passing skills, one-touch pass and weighted pass, and he's got nice passing attributes. This is a very nice version of Magalhães. I think, like I say, goes to about the same level as that one from the Arsenal pack, but this one's got more skills, so I'd say this one's probably the best version of him that we've had on the whole, all things considered. And yeah, there's no real major weakness there. He's strong, physically strong, he's strong with his defensives, the pace is okay, he's got nice passing for a centre-back. This is a really nice version of Magalhães. He's a good, strong centre-back card. And we finish up with a really nice version of Rodri. So we've had a few versions of Rodri that got up to about 97, 98. This is around about that level. I would say this is around about as good as the one, even the one that went to 98, to be honest. It's one of the better versions of Rodri that we've had. They have, I mean, again, with most of these cards, we've had some weird changes from their GP cards. They've taken a bit away from his defensive engagement. And his engagement, aggression as well, quite a bit down. Bit annoying. Tight possession is down a bit as well for some reason. Kicking power's down a little bit. They've taken one off his heading for some weird reason. But They have boosted his finishing a bit, his attacking awareness, his defensive awareness, his acceleration as well. So those are nice boosts that he's had, and across the board with his other attributes is a little bit higher pretty much everywhere. So yeah, on the whole, yeah, one or two that have been reduced a little bit from his GP card, which is annoying, but on the whole, he's had a pretty nice boost across the board, and this is one of the best versions of Rodri that we've had. Unwavering form, as you would expect. He's had fantastic form this season. If we look at the skills, they've had a first-time shot, not the most important one on a kind of holding midfielder, but either way, we've got first-time shot now. Blocker they've added as well, though. That is a really nice one to add. They've taken away, to make room for those two skills, they've taken away fight and spirit, and they've taken away low lofted pass. So, bit of a shame we've lost those two, but I think certainly with Blocker, that's a really nice addition. So, yeah, one-touch pass, through passing. So he's got great passing on him, and then defensively, man marking, interception, blocker, aerial superiority. A couple of shooting skills. I don't think they're going to matter too much. Rising shot as well. Soul control is a nice one. But yeah, very nice passing. And defensively, super strong, as you'd expect. It's a really nice version of Rodri. I would not play him as a centre midfielder. He's got the ability, to be fair, but attacking awareness is a bit low. He's not the most manoeuvrable. He's slow. His balance is poor. You want to get the best out of this guy. He's obviously going to be best as a defensive midfielder with the anchorman playing style active, sitting in front of your defence and protecting it. Defensively, really strong. He's tidy on the ball as well with some really nice passing. There's not a great deal you need to say about this guy. You know what to expect. They've not changed anything really about the way he plays, play style, or anything like that. He's just a really good version of Rodri. So, yeah, if you've not already got a good version of Rodri, this will be a fantastic card to pick up. It's a really, really good defensive midfielder. So there's your Premier League Players of the Season pack. It's a pretty good pack on the whole. There's a few around the kind of lower rated ones we looked at early on, which I don't think are too great. I think these first four, I mean, Tarkowski's pretty solid, to be fair, and Barkley's not too bad, but not too keen on Robinson, not too keen on O'Shea, McAtee, however you say it. Gross could be useful for some people. Endo, really nice looking. Solanke could be a good striker for some people. Eze, very good version of him. That's a really nice card. Wissa could be useful for some people. He's quick, but the awareness and finishing don't quite make him that great of a striker for me. Gibbs-White, not the best version of him that we've had, but if you don't have a good version of him already, could be a good card to pick up. Watkins, similar to Solanke and Wissa, really. He could be a good striker for some people. I would like him to have a bit more pace, and I'm not a huge fan of the way they've balanced out his attributes compared to previous versions, but it is a good striker still. Good version of Gordon, if you like quick wingers who can cut inside and get goals for you, could be an effective one. Dalot, those are like a real strong defensive fullback. Might not be too keen, but certainly for those who like an all-rounder of a fullback, and especially ones who like a fullback to bomb forward and contribute to attacks, getting crosses in, could be a very nice one to pick up. Gusto, if you like the other kind of fullback, you like a real defensive fullback with a defensive fullback playing style, could be a very good card. I think a lot of people will be very keen on this card. Paquetá, classic number 10 version, could be very nice as an attacking midfielder. It's the best version of Paquetá that we've had. There could be quite a few people very keen to get that card. Pedro Neto, he's all pace and dribbling and skills. If that's what you like, brilliant. Be careful with the end product. If you're only really concerned about being, the pace, the dribbling, and the skill moves, could be a really fun one to pick up. Vicario is a really good goalkeeper card. Magalhães, just about as good a version of him that we've had. A very good, solid centre-back card. And then Rodri, another really good version of Rodri, one of the better ones we've had. So, yeah, on the whole, it's a very good pack. There's some good cards in there. 20 in there, though, so there's only a few cards in there that you want. You've got a 1 in 20 chance of getting one that you want. So, yeah, keep that in mind. It's a bit of a risk, but certainly there are some good cards in there. And I've got a free spin, so I might as well do my free spin now. Here's a special treat for you. Who are we going to get? I'm not even sure who I want, to be honest. I'm happy with my existing version of Gordon for my Newcastle squad. Go on, be kind. Give us someone good. Who's going to be? Yeah, Barkley. Well, it could have been worse, I guess. I'm not sure I'll use him. It's probably just a 10-day contract renewal. But never mind. There we go. It's a decent pack, like I say. Hopefully you found this video useful, as always. Hopefully if I do my stream in the morning, it'll be a live watch along with the J-League 11 AM kickoff. So hopefully I'll see some of you for that. Thank you for watching, as always. Hopefully you found that useful. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves.